Hey everybody, welcome back to our show, Higher Geekix. I am the host today, Brooklyn Boy T.
Woo woo.
And I hear my co-host.
My boy Mayhem Mike, which is actually me because it's not my boy.
Don't you mean Martha Mike?
Oh, Bucky, you want to go? Listen, all right? Bucky was a hero, okay? He was taken advantage of. Who was Martha?
She's a
victim.
She's a scapegoat. She's a scapegoat. She's bad writing. That's what she is. She's bad writing. Here it is, good writing, good character made into a bad character versus bad writing, bad movie.
But she
Martha
didn't cause any explosions, though.
Yes, no. Instead, she just caused the death of actually Superman.
No.
Yes, she did.
No, I'm pretty sure Bucky, if we're not mistaken, his word triggered Cap
wasn't Martha,
Cap
and it
to
was
freeze. Cap froze, and then people died.
Okay,
there's people died.
First of all, Bucky actually didn't kill anybody. Let's put that there. Hold on. He didn't kill anybody willingly as the Winter Soldier. He was a sleeper agent, so that means he had a sleeper phrase, which made him into a different person. So he was not of conscious mind. He was a totally different person. So he exonerated. Okay,
Agreed.
But you want to go back to Captain America? Okay, here's the thing.
It's just with Cap.
I'm sorry. If somebody said, T, we have your mom, she's locked up in the basement, and you haven't seen your mom, you wouldn't be like, really, where? And then, boom. It wasn't his fault, okay? But you know whose fault it really was? It was DC saying, look, we can do Martha and get away with it. And they did it with bad writing. Bad writing. You know what? And the crazy thing is, Batman was actually going to kill Superman in that movie, right?
I don't think he was going to do that. I think he was just trying to make his point.
That's a lie. The Kryptonite Spear? Use a whole lie. Use a whole lie.
And before we get to into it, introduce our other host.
This is
Bucky for the win.
This is Dorko Manhattan, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite recluse.
We are hosting from the Hall of Justice right now. We have switched positions. Let me tell you, this Hall of Justice is dope.
Amazing. We
have so much antiques. I wish you guys could see this. It is really dope. I can't even begin. You know what?
Don't touch anything.
Yes, I won't. I actually have one of the Justice League graphic novels that goes from like way back when, and it actually shows like, if I'm not mistaken, Supergirl, which is in this version, it's Clark Kent, Lois Lane's daughter, getting married to, I forgot which, but I think it might have been Damian, but like obviously Damian Wayne in the future, and Lex uses the son of Superman, who doesn't have any powers, to kill one of the I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I think it's a What If comic, right?
Yeah, it's like a What If. Yeah, it is. It's really dope. If I could find it, and especially if it's in pristine edition, I'm going to add it to your wall. It's like really dope. There's a lot of stuff, man. Wow. I'm having shakes. I mean, tell us how Comic-Con was, man.
Comic-Con was great, like it is every year. Lots of mayhem,
Yep.
you know, but good mayhem.
Whatever, Martha.
Lots of good mayhem, lots of cosplay, lots of promotions. Zachary Levi was there, and
Nice.
we did the photo op,
Nice.
did the autograph, we did the selfie. It was all good. He was super nice, which I was actually gonna say, like, he fits the Shazam role perfectly. He's like a really big kid, so it's like big kid, the adult mashed into one. I can't wait for April. What is it? April 5th. April 5th. And then Aquaman, Jason Momoa, waiting in that line. I mean, we didn't take a photo, but you know, he was nice.
He looked super into it. I like seeing him at the cons. He always looks into it.
But there is one thing that my wife pointed out. He was talking to, I guess, one of his peeps, and there was something that he said in regards to like the whole, I guess, acting on the superstardom stuff. He said that he wasn't going to be doing this forever. So
yeah,
okay, that's fair enough.
That's understandable for him.
If that, you know,
he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I can understand why him get out. I think he has new energy, and I say like a better vibe now that the extended trailer for Aquaman has come out, and they show more of the suit, a little bit more scenes, and that is being well received. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of want to see how the scene looks on the screen and how it moves, because you know, like I watched Avengers: Infinity War. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when Dr. Banner was in the Hulk suit, the Iron Man Hulk suit, it kind of looks cheesy when his head comes out. Yeah. Like it doesn't really flow together. So I want to see how DC kind of be like, oh, we could do this better. You know, kind of like superimpose.
Oh, like when Thor arrives and he like unmasked.
Yeah,
So, like, you know,
I think it would be really dope to kind of see Jason Momoa in an Aquaman suit and see how it just.
Well,
like,
that last shot, that money shot.
Yeah. But I don't want it to be just a commercial. I want it to be like the whole last 5 minutes of the movie.
I think it's gonna be like maybe like the last fight is what I think he's gonna switch on. He's gonna change suits.
That makes sense.
I was against when I heard he was gonna have the orange and green. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is getting from bad to worse. And I saw the trailer and I was like, you know something? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That looks amazing.
I think that
I was looking at that. Yes.
Oh, we have an icon right now. We have Aquaman in his original suit with the trident posing. You know what? It looks good. It looks good.
It looks better than I remember.
Mm-hmm.
It looks better than I remember.
I thought so too. And even if you look at his gloves, the fins, they go all the way back in the trailer as well.
Okay.
So they really kept it as is. Classic.
I'm with it.
I really hope they keep that in the movie. If they keep that in the movie, I think this is gonna be a win for DC. I'm not gonna lie. Well, besides Shazam, but like I think it's gonna be like a late quarter win for them. Honestly,
they're not competing with too much movies.
Yeah.
At that time, the Spider-Verse movie.
I think they realize now their mistakes.
Yeah.
Hopefully they realize their mistakes and they just focus on all these individual
building the characters first.
Right.
Building the characters.
I just want to say, because I definitely want you to go back and talk to Comic-Con and speak to people like who've never been to Comic-Con but might see like what that experience is. But really quickly, I actually saw a more extended trailer into the Spider-Verse. I'm not too happy with the drawing. So like Peter Parker looks definitely aged, but it's not like Peter Parker in his prime, or like how we know him as. He seems like a more sullied adult. They brought Spider-Pig, which is dope. They brought Gwen Stacy, which is a fan favorite. I'm not gonna lie, she is pretty dope.
And Spider-Man Noir?
Noir is there. I kind of feel like he should have a deeper voice because he's Noir, but the way in the trailer made him like I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. I was like, why is this Peter Parker looking like he's out of a job? And
I think that's the Peter Parker.
Well, technically, he always is in the next paycheck, right?
I think he's. I think this is going to be like a wary Peter Parker. This is going to be Peter Parker who's been doing it for a while. He's tired of it. Not tired of it, but he knows the ins and outs.
He looks like he's on hard times.
Yeah. I feel like that's always been the theme of Spider-Man. Let's be real. Since he was quote unquote a teenager. Way back when to the adult that he is now. It always gets good and it gets bad back again for him. Like to get everybody to forget his identity, he lost his marriage to Mary Jane, But I think it's great that they want to shine a light on Miles Morales, but it's just the way they're going about it. And it just seems like it's just going to be Miles Morales. It's not going to be like Into the Spider-Verse where Silk comes in. Hopefully she does. And then like those tarantula guys, I forgot their name. They're not tarantulas, but they're like life-sucking vampires, whatever. They come in and get. It doesn't look like that's coming into play. No, it's just like, I don't know if this is the right feel for it. So like, it's ironic because where Aquaman gave us less, we were like, and now they give us more. We're like, yay! Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was like, we were like, yay! And I was like,
I agree. Yeah, I hear you.
Take a look into it and tell me what you guys think. If you,
and this is a movie, right? This is like a show movie. Or anything like that, right? It's a movie.
I think it's been moved back.
No, it's the December.
Is it Christmas?
I think it's the week after Aquaman.
Okay.
In theaters.
I thought they moved it back. All right. So I mean,
it's like 27.
I'm still hopeful. But go ahead. Tell us about Comic-Con. What was that experience, man?
Comic-Con is always an interesting experience because you get to see everyone's cosplay, see like what they have in store, for, surprise-wise for everyone. Like the dude that was dressed as a banana, but he had like Wolverine colors on it. Like,
nice, wow.
You get the chance to meet your favorite celebrities. You see all the vendors, all the exclusive stuff. Like Funko does a lot of exclusives. Wifey got a chance to, be on the line for that and, nabbed a couple of exclusives here and there. And then you walk up and down the aisle, there's Artist Alley, you get to see some amazing prints as you guys see on my wall.
Oh, yeah.
And all the toys. I mean, I gotta stop going to Comic-Con. But it's a great experience. As I said, this year you had Zachary Levi, we had Jason Momoa. Both of them were like, fun people, and And I was kind of disappointed because there was certain people that I had in mind that I really wanted to go for an autograph, like Kevin Conroy, but he wasn't doing autographs this year. And of course, out of all the years that he's been there, and the one year that I want him to be there for an autograph, he doesn't do it.
Ooh.
But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. 4 days of comics, movies, exclusives. What's in store, what's coming in the future. So it's
I feel
lots
like
of fun.
Comic-Con and like any of the game expos, like the EA expos and whatnot, are like our geeky vacations.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We get to step away from the world a little bit. We get to see, like 2 years ago, I was gonna do Halloween. I was gonna be Deadpool, and this guy, he had already thought it out, and he was like, "This is what you got to do. Da-da-da. All you gotta do is order it." And when I tell you, that's such a real life. Like, I think if I stood next to Will Smith, like, people would think I'm, a version of Deadshot, if you will. But I would think I'm Deadpool, and they're like, "No, that's Deadpool for sure." Like, that's not Deadpool. Deadpool and Deathshot for sure. And then the year after that, Deathstroke. Deathstroke was like fully painted out and like really like chiseled away to like think like whoever's in this is promoting a movie. This is not a costume.
Nice.
But you can see that at Comic-Con. But I think everybody's just having a great time. Like, honestly, I feel for you and your wallet.
No regrets.
I want to see the Killmonger.
There was a Killmonger cosplay.
Yeah, I saw them online. It looks amazing.
He had the jacket, like what he looked in the museum.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I saw the Black Panther and
I mean, there were lots of Black Panthers, like suits, the mask, and the helmet, but he was like the only dude dressed as Killmonger pre-suit.
I've only seen one guy as Killmonger, and that's like when he does the challenge fight.
He has like all the
the little dots. I've only seen that. Wow, look how far we'll go.
One day we'll do Comic-Con.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it.
Oh yeah. I guess we should move on, shall we, T?
Okay, yeah.
What are we going to talk about this time? We're going to talk about Venom. Can we talk about Venom?
Oh yeah.
You guys can talk about Venom.
Let's go, Mike.
Okay, so first of all, if you are going to see this movie because you want to see Venom in his authenticity role,
I will say just curb your enthusiasm first.
I gotta agree. So we're not gonna spoil it for Dorko too tough, and we're not gonna spoil it this time for you guys. I think that's fair. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so is it a good movie for you to watch? Yes. I would argue that if you are going to spend money on it, see it in a theater experience where it's like the seats shake and whatnot, because I saw it and I didn't get that experience, and from other people who saw it, they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, if you're one of those, like, I don't need too much to be happy with a movie, fine. Other than that, it's a slow start in the beginning. Here's why it's a slow start. I'm not saying it's slow altogether. It's just like Eddie Brock's character doesn't really grab you. You understand? They don't really...
Yeah, I agree with that.
They kind of like brush it over. Like, he does this, he doesn't take no BS. All right, let's go into the symbiote. A really slow movie in comparison to that would be The Nun. You guys haven't seen The Nun?
I did not see it yet.
I was invited.
Don't go see it. It's on Netflix now, I believe, or Hulu. It's horrible. Like, after 30 minutes, I turn it off because there's nothing scary happening. So, but anyway, we're talking about Venom. The real... like the cusp of the movie, like the really good action and the good memorable parts, because it is funny, is when the symbiote starts talking to Eddie. I believe Tom Hardy did the voice. Yeah. He was pretty spot on. I'm not gonna lie. And you kind of grow to like the symbiote, which is funny. They fought Riot,
right,
which was dope. Because the scene was okay, but it's just like he can have other villains to fight because he's now a hero. He's not an anti-hero. Well, technically he is.
He's an anti-hero because at the end.
Because what he did at the end. They brushed over it, even though it's a PG-13, but they still have some R-rated moments. They have two, and I was like, holy, I see what you did there. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Well, so... I do agree with most of what Mike said. I will say that most. One, the symbiote didn't really do it for me.
Really,
he didn't do it for me.
Even the dialogue between them.
The dialogue between them was great.
That's the symbiote.
But it seemed rushed. A lot of it seemed rushed, and I don't want to give too much away. But a lot of it seemed rushed. towards the middle to the back end of the film, I thought was great.
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah.
yeah. But from the beginning to that middle point, and he got the symbiote kind of late in the game. And it felt like the movie was just in itself. It's just a very rushed movie. It was everything. You had no time to breathe. There was literally no time to breathe.
No explanation of any kind.
Zero explanation for a lot.
Well, did they? I don't think they actually said the races of the symbiotes in the movie, but they said how the symbiote was able to get to Earth and why. But it was very simple. That was it.
But it came from space.
It came from space. It was a meteor crash. Yep. It was a crash.
Just like in the comics.
Very true to the comics. But after the beginning portion of the film, it just went into Eddie Brock trying to be Peter Parker vibe. Would you agree with that?
I would agree, because here's a crazy thing that I just thought about, right? Like I said, if you're going to go watch it, like, let it be an experience. Yeah. I'm not saying to go see another movie free, but, why not if you can? It's definitely a Peter Parker vibe, because there are certain parts where he swings, and it's just like, that's kind of reminiscent of a web sling. But then also his costume, they don't explain. How do you look like Venom and not explain the costume?
Right.
I guess if I ask you guys this question, I guess it'd be considered a spoiler, so I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, ask it. I'll answer it the best way I can.
Okay, being that he hasn't been exposed to, because in the comics he's exposed to Peter first, right. Then he moves on to Brock.
Yes, that is correct.
Being that it's not the case in this movie, does he have the
emblem?
Yeah.
No, that's not a spoiler, because it was the same thing you saw in the trailers. He doesn't have.
Okay, he doesn't have it. Okay.
He doesn't have it.
He has something.
He has. Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what it was.
So now that I'm thinking,
it's weird.
I would dare say. I feel like the editors were laughing at us, like the digital editors were laughing at us, and like. He has a lot of close-up shots, but then when we see him from far away, it's kind of like brushed over. Yeah. So maybe they try to make it seem like a living symbiote, like a living body, so like it's always in movement. But there is something there. Now you make me want to watch it again.
Wasn't there like a Otherworlds Marvel storyline where the symbiote never went to Peter first, but went to Brock instead?
I'm not aware of that one. I'm aware of the one where he went to Deadpool. Okay. He went to Deadpool first.
I'm sure there is. They retell the story.
I'm pretty sure they'll make it for the movie. If it did really good, or if they feel like they can
that's
save
the case, then maybe this is where this film is going. Yeah. Now that you guys have seen, now that you guys have seen it, one of the questions that's been circulating online is, did it feel like a Marvel movie or a Sony movie?
It definitely felt like a Sony movie.
It's a Sony movie.
It felt like again, Sony did make some good films.
Marvel tendencies.
They did make Spider-Man 2. They did make Amazing Spider-Man 1. So they know how to make
it. They had help. Call a spade a spade.
They made it.
What happened was they stood in the room and guys were like, "This is what we're doing." Yeah, we made it. Yeah, 5. We didn't do anything. Go get the water.
But they know how to do certain things, and this film, while not up to par with those two films, I would still say it's a very, very good film.
You know what I think?
And I'm looking forward to the second one. Oh!
So would you say Venom is definitely better than Spider-Man 3?
No.
Spider-Man 3? Yes, definitely.
Wait, Spider-Man 3? Oh, yeah. I thought you meant Spider-Man Homecoming. I was looking at a picture. I'm sorry. I got caught up. I definitely look forward to the second one because...
Did you see the...
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So there's a mid-credit scene.
There's 2. We can talk about one of them.
I'll talk about Woody. We'll talk about Woody?
No.
Okay, we won't talk about Woody.
We talk about the other one. There's 2 post-credit scenes.
Go look for Woody.
One of them is just... It directly sets up the next film, which is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. The second post-credit scene was a trailer to into what's it called? Into Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was basically like a trailer to. It was like a 3 minute, like a 3 minute. I guess how Peter Parker meets Miles Morales.
Okay.
Basically, like he's at the grave, and again, this is nothing. This doesn't spoil Venom. This doesn't say Venom is inside of this universe, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just basically like a trailer. What happens before it's basically like a, hey, buy this ticket, please.
Yeah.
Buy this ticket.
Yeah.
You know, this is coming out. This is from
It's
from
pretty
us.
It's pretty much, don't forget, we're doing this. Hey.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. I think what we may have missed or maybe kind of like glossed over really quickly, I think Sony is trying out new writers. I think they're trying out new writers, and they probably took those same writers to write Homecoming and Home Away. More like we haven't
Far
seen
From Home?
Far From Home. Excuse me.
No, I think Marvel's like hands off.
I think that
Sony.
I wouldn't.
Let us do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were still there. You know what I'm saying? To kind of get that inspiration.
gotta learn. I think
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
learning.
You know, they want to do it their way because I'll agree with T on this one. This is a better Sony movie than a lot of other Sony movies, which I don't think is saying much, but it is.
I put it at number 4 to me.
Really?
I put it.
What's above this one?
I would say Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man 1,
Mhm.
Spider-Man 1, and then Venom.
Okay.
And then after that, you have Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is, you know, 2.
I don't think
movies.
3 can never make a list.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bad list.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man.
And
3.
to think, I went to a midnight show for that.
Ooh.
It was, you know, but it was weird because it was good when I first saw it. I don't remember like the first time I saw Spider-Man 3. I was like, this is.
There was
horrible.
a guy who was so hyped to see Venom. Like, remember, like,
Yep.
the video footage, and then he just was like, right at you. Yo, he got up, was like, oh my god,
That was so bad.
ran
That
right out,
was so
walked
bad.
right out of the
time-
theater.
At the time, I loved it, man. But I remember because I saw
But the
it one
suit
time.
looked good though.
I saw it one
The
time.
Venom suit, I thought for
Well,
Spider-Man 3 was good.
When it covered what's his face, yes, because I didn't like how his teeth looked afterwards. Yeah, that was. But you're right, it did look good because I remember I used to work at Circuit City and we used to play the Spider-Man 3 on like the Blu-ray TVs that we had. Well, the 1080p's at the time, 720, and it looked really good, especially when the Sandman got caught and he actually turned into the Sandman. That whole scene with the grains, but. It's like once he revealed his face as Eddie Brock, it's like, no, put it back on. No.
It was kind of, why are you going to use it? Why are you going to be Venom? And every time you talk, you're going to
Reveal your face.
Yeah. It just,
Parker, how are you?
And I get it, like you trying to add your own personality to it because you know he was taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's not who Venom is. Venom isn't just Eddie Brock. Venom is Venom the symbiote.
Venom, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, there's an actual YouTube.
Brock is just the host.
Yes.
Yep.
But they're partners. You understand? So it's kind of like Two-Face. It's two personalities of the same person, but it's not because it's a symbiote who feeds off the person.
One conquers over the other.
Right. That's interesting. I'm gonna send you guys the link. This channel doesn't support us like that, but they actually talk about like who created Venom, the creators of Venom, how did it come about, the whole like it. Believe it or not, the inspiration came from a fan who wrote to one of the creators, and that's how Spider-Man Secret Wars, Spider-Man that symbiote suit came about. It was black and red at the time, and they made it black and white, and then Venom came from that.
Okay.
I'll send it to you guys. It's really dope.
that was dope.
I think it's dope for you guys to find out, especially if you like Venom, if you like really love Venom, because I didn't realize Venom's fan base was that big. I didn't.
They
I think
crushed the box office.
for a very
They
long
demolished.
time, Venom's fan base was really, really huge.
And Tom Hardy's too.
And then Deadpool came into the picture and knocked Venom like off. I mean, I'm sure they're both
neck and neck.
yeah.
But Deadpool, oh my god! All right, Deadpool, the first one was a dope movie because they made fun of everything, they broke the wall. There's like in your face humor, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe they did that moments, right? And then Deadpool 2 is like, I can't believe they did it again, and it worked really well. Now, granted, some people had certain problems with jokes like that. I'm just like, that's in his character though. Like, like I think they're gonna have a harder time doing Deadpool 3 at this point.
Well, before we go, remember they're doing a Deadpool movie, and that's coming out in December too. That's right. I completely forgot about that. That's another thing. That,
Oh, really?
That Aquaman's gonna have to box with is gonna be Deadpool, but it's Deadpool 2 again, but it's PG-13.
Wow, no.
What?
I don't. Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
yeah.
I mean,
so sorry. Yeah.
are they
so
trying to like?
when Fox decided to move the movie that they had in December, it started with the A it was like the animated, the robot. She was like a robot, big eyes.
Ooh,
It starts with Anali.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. So they decided to move that from December to April, and then from there, to February, and then they're gonna push X-Men from February back to April.
Phoenix.
Dark,
Okay.
yeah.
Dark Phoenix.
Ooh,
And then
we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
And then they pushed New Mutants from that date to further in 2019.
That's right. Isn't Deadpool 3 New Mutants? Or is Mutants is a separate...
New Mutants is something completely
Okay.
different. So they needed something to fill that slot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just, I haven't read this anywhere.
Alita.
This is just me. Alita, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it could be Fox kind of testing the waters with how would a PG-13 movie do. Or maybe it was something like Marvel was saying, hey, are we going to continue this? If we're going to continue this in our world, if it's PG-13, we're going to keep it, or if we're going to just keep it rated R. I think it's at this point it's a throwaway for Fox. You know it's going to make money. It's Deadpool. It's going to make the money, but is it going to be any good?
Okay.
And I think it could also be a dangerous game to play, because what if it's not good? Then
it's hurting the brand. That's what I was thinking of.
So it's you know.
But it's safe to say that Fox is now part of the Disney umbrella, right?
Not yet. I think officially yes, but in the U.S. maybe. But they have to go through all the other countries to approve everything. Like Europe and all those other places.
So, like, with an acquisition of this business, I'm thinking business-wise, and I'm just looking at history. I'm nowhere near professional like that. I don't want to guys, but I feel like what Fox is doing is, like, before we're fully acquired in our deal, let's release as much as we can to make as much money. You understand? And then we'll go from there. Because this seems like a desperate move. Like, why? Why would you do... you know what I'm saying? Like, the movie's already out. I'm pretty sure they released the PG-13 content. Like, you can go into the DVD features and have the PG-13, but then... Yeah. Why would
pretty sure you could turn it down.
Right. Why would you want to do this? Mm-hmm. What's the end game? So then it's like, okay, you're re-releasing a PG-13. What about this movie makes it different besides less violence?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what another thing is you remember, so before they released it, Fox had its movie schedule.
Yeah.
And because you have your movie schedule, you have a certain, I guess, price tag. So they didn't release Deadpool as a PG-13 because that would lower the price tag. Mm-hmm. And now that they're already sold in a sense, now they're like, oh, now we could just kind of try whatever we want, because what's the repercussions? Yeah. They don't have any. Regardless, their doors is closing in 2019 anyway. So I think if anything, it's just gonna... It could be good for Disney and Fox and Marvel, or it could be bad for Disney and Marvel. What if Disney and Marvel was saying we're thinking about doing PG-13, and if it doesn't work right now, then they know they can't do PG-13. Mm-hmm. So how does that affect their rated R version of Deadpool if they decide to go that route?
I don't think it's gonna hurt their brand overall. Because it's just like you're going to release it. Unless they don't have like really good expectations out of it, I don't think the movie's going to be in the movie theater for long. Because honestly, some of the stuff that makes Deadpool not a classic but so funny is because it goes past PG-13. It's like R-rated stuff.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Joke-wise, movie scene-wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, so...
Did you guys see the deleted scenes of Deadpool? Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Remember the soap dispenser?
Oh yes. Oh Jesus.
Oh man. Now I have
and this one was from the last one, right? Part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
I was at work. And there was no more soap, but someone had put like a dispenser and it was white, and I was just like, shit. Like it made me think of that scene. It's like, fuck. I don't want to use this now.
Okay, I gotta look at this.
It was pretty, but stuff like that is like I don't think we're gonna see with the. I mean, there's no way we can see that with the PG-13. So,
well, while we're here, let's do a movie check real quickly.
Yeah.
What do we think about Suicide Squad 2?
Well,
I love it.
Well, the movie hasn't come out yet.
Well, the preview. Sorry. Thanks, Dorko.
The idea of it.
In your mind.
In my mind.
You love it.
I love it.
I'm sold.
We got our guy over there now.
Let's let everyone know what the word is going on in the internet. Yeah. James Gunn has been hired to write Suicide Squad 2, but also in talks to direct the movie as well.
Who's James Gunn?
Oh, he's the guy that directed Guardians Volumes 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, he crossed over?
Yeah.
Isn't there a contract where you can't do both?
My sister said they're doing it out of spite. They're doing it out of spite.
Hey, man, I'm for you. Fired him for whatever reason that you fired him for. I don't think we're gonna get into that, but I will say that
don't deny the man work, man.
Yeah, you can't deny it. You can't deny it, and I go back to what he did was.
He apologized.
He apologized.
He's
10 years ago.
He's aware of his mistakes. He's aware of how his past mistakes can catch up to him.
Right.
But doesn't necessarily make him a bad human being. He's just a guy that just wants to put out a really good product out there. And DC is right now in a position where
they're in a position.
Anything funny, Martha?
They're sinking. Their ship is like, yes, please throw us a lifeboat, please. We'll take them.
No, and then Aquaman comes out of nowhere and saves us.
Whatever.
That's right.
We don't know yet, but
Mermaid. It is what it is. The guy's been offered a job. Yeah. I say go for it. Do what you can with it. That's it.
I think with a new pair of eyes, it'll probably be good because I know T doesn't agree with me, but I thought Suicide Squad, the first one, was basura.
Even the director admits that it was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Basura.
Mark.
He regrets not putting not giving Joker enough screen time, like everyone else.
And then
that's fine too. Like you can still make a great movie without necessarily the Joker in that with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but they advertised him as being the star. I think that was the misconception. That was the misdirect. And they came up with another version, the Ultimate Edition. That's probably not the name.
Crack Addict Joker.
Yeah, but it was like a 15 minute longer film, which featured more of the Joker film scenes, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool for what it was, but at the same time, that version of the Joker just
Ooh, I did like Ben's
his cameo.
Yeah, I was gonna say feature, but Ben's cameo in this movie though.
Yeah, that
was pretty dope.
That's what I'm saying. Like the cameos of Batman and Flash.
Yeah,
like they did it.
Still trash.
I think
Suicide's trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Batista is rumored to be looking for a role in that film too. So
well, I don't blame the guy for wanting to work with someone who he feels comfortable with. I mean, if it was you, the director, and then let's say you had your peeps, you had people who you are comfortable with, who you collaborate with, and they can
my Legion of Doom.
Yes, and they can help you, put out a good product. Why not? That's how I see it. I mean, he's bitter regarding the whole Guardian thing and what Volume 3.
He has a right to be. He has a right.
As
we all are.
Right, but it is what it is, and the guy feels like well, wherever he goes, I go.
But he also should be doing that behind the scenes.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Don't be too vocal.
Yeah, because I think right now he's just mad that he can't be like, I did this, boom, because of where he's at right now. So now he's gonna like, I did this. Like you can still get the credit, but it can't be shown as big due to the situation that he's in. That's exactly what I was thinking about saying.
All I know is Batista's on a tightrope, and I can guarantee you that Drax will not be making it out of Avengers 4.
So that's it. Like
he's not coming back. He probably be. He's gonna be in it, I think. But with all the reshoots, apparently, like I was reading something today.
That's right. Spider-Man made reshoots.
The reshoots that's going on. They're doing major reshoots now. So and the Guardians are all there. So I'm assuming that there's going to be some changes with some of the Guardian guys. I think again, like going by what we said last time, I think the only people that's safe is probably Groot and Groot, Star-Lord, and Rocket.
Wow.
Even Gamora?
Maybe Nebula. I think if they do a solo Star-Lord movie, I think it will feature Gamora coming back somehow. Like he's looking for her or something like that. Or he's trying to bring her back.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to bring her back in this film. Because then it's kind of like, all the Guardians will be back at that point.
I mean, they gotta bring her back. I mean, like even right now in the Marvel Universe and comics, like she holds the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's a oh my goodness, that's a story you want to see. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it last time about female empowerment roles, like Gamora beating everybody up, especially with the Infinity Stones. Come on.
Agree, but I don't think they're gonna do it.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna do it exactly how we see it in the comic books. Like I don't I don't think we're gonna see Nebula beat Thanos. That's something I don't think is gonna happen. Like in the comic books that happen.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think Hulk is gonna lift up a mountain. I don't think certain things are gonna happen.
I love that.
And I don't think Drax is gonna kill Thanos either.
Yeah, Drax ain't gonna kill Thanos.
That's fair. Like, you can switch.
He's gonna try
because he did in the comics. Right?
Yeah,
He's
he's one of the people who killed him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna try, and I think that will be the Drax going down in a.
That's when he goes through a portal.
You can't save him, right?
That's when he goes through a portal and lands in the world of Suicide Squad.
That's right. That's right.
I think I'm really hoping. Let me say that same thing. I really hope that reshoots and all that it's a really great movie. Even with the original content that they release, so that way I can buy both movies one time on DVD set. I was watching. No,
was that a stab at?
I think so.
Justice League.
Yes, Justice League, Batman v Superman.
It was.
Well, mostly Batman v Superman because Justice League was just one fucking cut.
Yeah, it was just
Sorry.
one cut.
Are you guys related to the Flash? You guys are the fastest men alive. With that thought, what was it 0.0000001 giga something whatever nano whatever. So he thinks fast. The reason why is because I was watching, believe it or not, the Infinity War. Was it Saturday? Because we had a company over, and first of all, one of my family was like, "This is the best Avengers movie to date," and I was like, "You're right." Like I want to be like, "No," but you're right. We talked about like how they definitely handled different characters, different storylines. They handled like so many different things. But what I didn't realize is the potential that they laid for the groundwork. So unfortunately, I have to say this because I got to be fair. If Avengers 4, whether it be Avengers Assemble or whatever it is called, is a bust, the groundwork that they've laid from Infinity War is so dope. They can go any way with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know what?
As long as they don't back themselves into a corner with Avengers 4.
I don't think they can.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
Not with the Infinity Gauntlet. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. I mean, they can try and do it, but I don't think they really can.
I just want to see X-Men.
And plus, they can't really afford to either. They're on a road of success. Why mess this up?
Yeah. Why mess with the formula? And I think they're going to tweak it.
Please,
they're going to tweak the formula. But
please light a flare for Fantastic Four.
Did you guys see the when Mark Ruffalo was on Jimmy Kimmel and he like spoiled it and like bleeped everything out?
Yeah. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah.
Bleep.
Sounded like R2-D2 for a moment.
He was on top of the couches like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Notice him and Tom Holland wasn't in the same place. Disney would definitely shut that down.
And then that tweet from the Russo brothers, Mark, you're fired.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when I text you guys, I was like, this is real. Fuck.
It's not.
It's not.
It's all right. It's all right. The tweet from Robert Downey Jr. to my favorite Captain America. Was dope. That was dope.
To Infinity War and beyond.
Yeah, we all know who the real captain is.
The real sheriff in town.
Yeah, that was dope. We got to move on. Let's talk about Solo. So you guys saw Solo.
Yes.
And you guys are giving it great reviews. You're making me feel bad, but I'm not really feeling that bad.
As a Star Wars fan, like I have to admit, I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan, but I am a fan of the franchise. I love the characters. Mm-hmm. I love the storylines. So seeing Solo for the first time, I have to admit, I enjoyed it. I sat down, I watched it beginning to end, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I wasn't, picking at it like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that, or like, why didn't they do this or that? I didn't get butthurt. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I had fun.
Was it as enjoyable as, because you've seen Venom, is it as enjoyable as Venom throughout the movie? Or is it more enjoyable because it sticks a little bit more to like what we're expecting, the genre, the whole Star Wars film and fantasy? I
would say no. I would say Venom was probably a little bit more to me, and that's only because I didn't know what to expect from. Like I didn't know what to like. My expectations for Venom were so low, and I was pleasantly surprised with Solo. My expectations was so high, and I came in a little bit disappointed with it, just because I wanted to see some more interaction with Lando and Solo. Didn't really see that too much, but just taking the film as it is, like Dorko said, it was a good film, it was a good standalone film. But if you try to mix that in with the Star Wars lore, like I did my first time watching it, it was like, wait, what? How did that happen? Like, wait, where did that friendship come from?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even like each other in the movie.
See, and now I can go back to when Sebastian was on the show and he said there was something in the movie that connects that to episode 1, and now I get it.
Yeah,
okay,
with the whole I don't know. Close your ears, folks. Spoilers.
Yeah.
With towards the end with God, what's his name?
Gets ready to spoil it. Can't remember.
Yeah, right.
When he says
when the girlfriend is talking to
Darth Maul.
Right.
Darth Maul.
Now, see, I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither.
At
That
all.
was dope. That was dope.
But see, now it makes me think: is he a Sith at that time, or like,
Well,
does he eventually become a Sith, and he's under the guidance of Darth Sidious, as we see in episode 1?
I think from that point, it just the way the movie ended. Before we saw what we saw with the Millennium Falcon, they could have go so much different places with it.
They could have,
and I liked it.
could've.
I really did like it.
I like Vision's performance.
Yes.
Paul Bettany.
That was pretty cool.
That
His
was.
performance
He
was-
played a really good villain, and I was like, wait, he's in the movie? Oh,
I didn't
right,
even know he was
Disney,
in
right?
check. No, I was gonna ask whether or not is there more scenes that we haven't seen? Like, have they released it on DVD and uncut director's edition by any chance that we haven't seen? No.
Nope.
So everything is in there.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm sure there's some deleted scenes, but I didn't take a look at them yet. I had no desire to be honest.
You know, I gotta come to you guys. You guys go in. You guys look at the deleted scenes. So I guess the real question that
I will at some point, but just
fair enough.
yeah, probably when episode 9's come out. I feel like picking up that DVD.
I think the real question, because, you know, Darth Maul is, as far as I remember his history, he was always a Sith. He's never, like, thought about changing other sides. He had a twin brother, all that good stuff, and he's brought back alive. But as far as I know, he's always been a Sith. I don't remember ever him considering going to the
Because I know the Sith
Jedi side.
were laying low at that time.
Right. Is it fair for me to say that Martha is a Sith and that Bucky might be a Jedi?
No,
Nah.
opposite way.
I feel like, if anything, Bucky may have been Anakin. He was the chosen one who was led astray. Oh, the silence is here.
That is the silence of that's the sound of us trying to see how he stretched that. that was a stretch.
I think so. I think
here's what I just noticed with Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Was that when Maul was seen in the film? Was that before episode 1?
Yes.
Or was that after episode 3?
No.
Because remember, in the comics, in the TV show, Maul ended up still being alive.
He survived, but he ended up having
robotic legs.
Right. Solo takes place before,
It takes
before
okay.
episode 1.
So how old is Solo? No, that's the next question. How old is Solo?
Well,
That's what I'm talking
that's
about.
what I was thinking when I saw when he popped up in the hologram or whatever.
Well,
I thought that I was like, that's a big gap
Yeah.
between between Solo and episode 1.
Right.
I mean,
between Solo episode. No, I mean,
Actually, no, wait.
the way I'm thinking about it, I didn't see the movie, but it looks like he's much younger. Kind of like, not teen, but like he's like hitting 18, 19. It's space years. We don't know. Light space. And then remember, at one point he was frozen in carbonite for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know, that didn't shave off any time of his aging. You know, that helped him stay there, you know? I don't know. Maybe they'll go into it.
it's because, and here's where I say it, because in episode 1,
And then he's traveling in space. And if they're traveling in space, aren't they doing the oh my goodness. When you go to sleep.
light speed.
Yes, but when you go to sleep, what's it called? Suspended cryogenic sleep.
Yeah.
So like suspended animation in the sense where they're not aging. He's a space pirate. He's constantly on the move.
I'm going to assume that Leia, Solo, and Luke
Leia wasn't
are
even
like
born yet.
around the same age group, aren't they?
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
So
if it was episode
Solo
1,
was like, I'm assuming mid-20s at least mid-20s, right?
mid-20s.
So that means Luke and Leia have to be at least maybe in their teens.
No, they wasn't even born yet. Episode 1, they wasn't born to episode 4.
No, but I mean like in the setting of Solo.
But then where did Darth Maul come from?
Now that got me thinking.
Right, because if that's the case, then how old?
Because did he have his legs?
I think he had his legs. I didn't see nothing.
I didn't
about
see that either. I just was stoked that it was Darth Maul.
Exactly. I was like,
I was like, oh, but I didn't really take notice of the timeline.
That's another strike against the movie.
I mean, well, here's what I think.
Damn, Ron.
I think they meant.
Damn it, Ron.
I meant to make another movie. I think they made another movie that kind of explains the time gap.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against it. Star Wars has been leading us with a lot of like I don't want to say spoilers, but like open-ended stuff. For instance, like in the last Jedi, the kid who has the Force but uses the broom. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's his importance?
Broom kid at the end.
Yeah, and we're all wondering, like, what's Rey's lineage for the Jedis and the Force.
If we don't find that out episode 9, I think we're going to stampede. I think everybody's going to say that.
No, I'll just watch it.
I feel like they're leading us
website.
away. I think it is what it is. I think she's from she's the other. She's their brother and sister, pretty much.
No,
that's what I think it was. That's what I think. That's what it was in the actual lore in the books, because I remember I had those books in one books. But it's just like they just wanted to lead us away. And remember, like they when they want to, they can close things out. Like, look at Rogue One. Look at the ending of Rogue One. The ending of Rogue One is probably the best scene ever.
You talking about the
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader,
yeah,
for sure. Like, and it flows right into it. Episode 4 now? Because I'm about to say episode 1. Yeah. It flows right into it, and it kind of like closes it out, so that way how we got here.
It's a perfect loop,
right?
It was a perfect loop.
So it's like if they want to, they can close it. They can definitely explain it. Will they do it? But
I also think that when they did Solo, they had the idea to do the Obi-Wan movie too. So I think that could be the reason why they had Darth Maul in the movie, because then it was that was going to spin off to the Jesus Christ.
You sure you had water?
What? I think so.
The Ben Kenobi the movie.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would have been the one to go up against Darth Maul again. So, I mean, when you think of one, you kind of think of the other. In my opinion, I think those two kind of go hand in hand with each other. So,
I mean, technically, the way it was written, a lot of the Jedi and Siths met previously, but we don't find out. Back when the lore was there, they met or heard of or passed, whatever. The animation did a dope adaptation of that. You know what I'm saying, on Cartoon Network. But if the movies are they're not scrapped, they're just pushed on hold.
They never specified where this takes place in the Star Wars timeline.
It's kind of hard to, only because one, it's space, and two, I really feel like from a directive's point of view and a writer's point of view, it's restricting. Because to be fair, people who live in space don't view time as we do.
No,
I mean, don't get me wrong. There is some concept of it, but you could be 100 years old, but in space you're like 20 because of cryogenetic and how many light years you travel within the ship. You know what I'm saying? And I think they didn't want to get into that with the movies.
But that still confuses us with where Solo takes place. You know what I mean? At least with Rogue One, it was specified that this takes place prior to episode
4. It takes place before episode 4 and after the Rebels TV show. I think they said is when it takes place.
I feel like they just this happened before and that was it. And he left the rest of it. I'm not saying it was justified. I'm just saying this is what it did. I'm going to take a look into it. It sounds dope. You guys told me that Lando, a.k.a. Childish Gambino, did his thing as an actor.
Yeah.
We had the Vision there. It started that comic Into the Vision, the Avengers that we talked about. I don't know. Any predictions?
With Star Wars?
Yeah.
Just wait.
I think they're
just wait for episode 9. Yeah. Let that dust settle and then focus on the other Solo movies.
Yeah. And I think that when they first came out with the whole, we're gonna do one Star Wars movie every year. Every one movie a year. It was kind of like it was cool at first because we got they knocked us out with episode 7, then they hit us again with Rogue One,
which was
then
dope.
Episode 8 came out, wasn't good, and then Solo came out, didn't do good. Even though the movie it's a good standalone movie, it's not a good Star Wars movie. I think that's
okay. Because I love that fighting scene, that purple room. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's good.
The purple or red room, whatever.
Red room. So those two movies, and they had 2 back-to-back films that didn't live up to the other 7 or 8 movies.
And I feel like it was rushed because I'm still mad at how Luke died. I can't think in my mind he's not dead. He can't be dead. He can't be dead.
He's one with the Force now.
I mean, Ben did it, and because I was just like, what, Ben? And even Leia, like, I get it, rest in peace. But it's just like y'all just gave her the Jesus treatment, and she just like came back from out, like explain. And it's dope because let's look at the reason why I say it's dope.
Jesus treatment.
The Jesus treatment.
I'm sorry. I remember being in the theater watching that part, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Why? Because I thought she was gonna die, and then they did what she did, and what they did, and I was like,
"Well, yeah."
But that shows how strong that lineage is with the Force.
The Force, right? That's how I perceived it as. Because even though it was never explained or shown that Leia was taught how to use the Force, it doesn't mean that in
the book she was kind of taught, but she didn't really go into it.
It doesn't mean that she doesn't have some kind of experience,
right?
So,
and not even that. I just think that it was her. She just reacted,
right?
She just reacted, and she may not have known what she was even doing. She was unconscious,
which blows my mind because here it is. We have Rey and Kylo, like they're telepathic. Remember they were giving each other visions?
I think they were forced. They explained it in the book. Oh.
Yeah.
What was it called in the book? Because I didn't read the book, but it sounds like they were telepathic. And Luke was out here projecting from worlds away. Nope, sorry, galaxies away.
Yeah. Well, it was. I mean, what Luke was doing was a force projection, but I think what he was doing with
projection.
What Kylo and Rey were doing was something different. It was like a long distance phone call.
Even still,
like
through space,
it was like the new FaceTime
through worlds. I
can't remember what the name was.
Okay, well,
I'll find out. Yeah. You guys know.
All right, let's move on. I guess. So, which one are we gonna do? I guess what made you guys into like comics? Like, what made you into like the geek you are, if you will?
Well, my first superhero was He-Man.
I have the power.
I do. I got here at the very eve of 1983. Me and my family, we got here. It was the start of He-Man, and that was my first exposure to like a cartoon, a superhero, and then it just went on from there. When it comes to actual comics like Superman, Batman, Iron Man, my first exposure was Galactic Guardians. Remember that?
Yeah.
Galactic
Guardians. Old school.
Oh, wow.
That was when the superpowers figure line came out from Kenner.
Yeah.
And then the cartoon reflected off of that. You can see the change in the animation. Now they were bulkier.
Yeah, everybody had the muscles.
They had the muscles and stuff.
Well, I believe it or not, at the time we didn't notice, but if you watch the documentary on a lot of toys,
Wonder Woman looked wondrous.
The toy company ran a lot of shows.
Yeah,
they ran. We didn't know that they ran a lot of shows in the industry. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And so from there on out, I was just I stayed a DC fanboy.
Oh my god. Can you imagine if Toys R Us had capitalized on this? Now?
Well, they're coming back.
I know they're coming back, but still. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So for me, definitely Batman. The
animated series?
No, not the animated series. With Adam West.
Oh, okay.
I think was probably
that was my later exposure.
Yeah.
I saw that every day after school, and I was just like, "Wow, yo!"
It was that Captain Planet, and then later on, what really hooked me was Superhuman Samurai and Power Rangers. I think those two
Superhuman
hooked
Samurai.
me. And then from there, because you remember it was
I'm going through it right
no,
now.
It's cool.
That was every day at 3:00, or if you had the weekend. Oh my god,
Saturdays.
You wake up at like 6:30 because the major cartoons started at 7, but certain networks had other cartoons at 6:30 for you to watch. That's why I was trying to Freakazoid and
Carmen Sandiego.
Oh yeah.
90s gave us really good cartoons.
Yeah. So Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Superhuman Samurai, and then that kind of rolled into Spider-Man and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I got my. Definitely Power Rangers is probably the biggest influence.
I'm pretty much in the same life that you guys are living. I've watched Power Rangers, watched Superhuman Samurai, I've watched some of the older shows too. But what got me into like comics per se, because I used to read a lot as a kid, was actually the Spider-Man series and the X-Men series on Fox 5.
Right.
Okay.
That was my first exposure to Marvel.
Right.
Everything up until then for me was DC.
Okay.
So that animated series was my introduction to everything that was Marvel.
See, like, I'll take you back. Like, that was around the time when you were like definitely channel switching or recording, because UPN 9 was also doing Dragon Ball Z a little later on, and Goku would throw like a spared bomb, like, we'll be right back. They had Ghost Rider at one point. They had Fantastic Four. They had Iron Man. They had Mega Man at one point.
I am Iron Man.
So that was like, I was always into that stuff as a kid. Reading believe it or not, my cousin had, I want to say, over 200 comic books, from He-Man, from Vision, the Avengers, and these are old comic books from Conan the Barbarian. All right, unfortunately, they weren't in the greatest condition, so I tried to save as much as we can, and I got some from the library as well. But like animation wise, and I told you guys, Princess Mononoke hooked me. Like, everybody was watching Dragon Ball Z, but because, let's be real, Dragon Ball Z was a little bit further in Japan than it was in America. Everybody was like, oh my god, look at Gohan, Super Saiyan level 2. But it's in Japanese. Like, okay, that's cool. I'm glad I can see him fight Broly and whatnot, but it's just like, I can't understand what they're saying necessarily, or all the subtitles are off. But Princess Mononoke showed, I remember, on HBO on a Friday night. I think it was like 8 o'clock, and I was blown away. This is before I saw Akira. This is before I saw like Cowboy Bebop for series, Tech Gundam, all this other stuff. And like, if you look at the animation, it is beautiful. Spirited Away is obviously like the more revered work from the guy, but it's just like, it was such a dope thing, and I just started looking into really great anime with great storyline. Like, we all have our like, oh, that's just a fun anime to watch. But like, some of the more revered animes now I follow, like Naruto. One Punch Man is funny. It's just funny. My Hero Academia is dope, And these are more like, I would say PG-ish. Yeah, PG, because there's some other ones I won't necessarily say here that are like really rated R that are dope. Like Parasite. That was dope. But like, it's so interesting thinking how far we come, because like, remember Hysteria?
Hysteria
was part of Animaniacs at one point.
Oh yes,
yes, yeah. Because that's what I look. And believe it or not, Yakko and Hysteria used to actually teach you things about the world, like the countries, the presidents, and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And we loved it. They won a whole bunch of awards for that show, by the way. So it's just like, it's so interesting how it's still relevant to this day and how far we've come.
Agreed.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. I
think Animaniacs is up on Netflix or Hulu, one of the two.
It's still, I think it's on Netflix. I think it's moved, but whatever.
Okay.
I'd watch it. Batman the Animated Series won awards too. Yo, when Thing turned into Clayface and it was a 2-part series, I felt that. Mask of the Phantasm, I felt that. I think it was season 2 or maybe season 3 where they explored Joker and how abusive he was, and he pushed Harley Quinn out the window. Yeah. Oh, I was like, this is Batman?
Wasn't Harley created for that show? I think
yes.
that was the first
she was. And she was an instant hit.
Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, I think.
Okay, we can go back. Remember WB had Batman and Superman? And remember when they met, it was a 90-minute special?
Yes.
Oh, no peeking. And then he followed Superman to the house.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will always remember that when that first conversation that they had, and this is kind of where I wish Batman vs Superman would have took a little bit more inspiration from when they first met. And the first thing he does, Superman kind of grabs him on the shoulder. Not grabs him, he taps him. That's
He's
enough.
Like, hey, that's enough.
And then Batman
just tosses him across the room. And that whole, because they didn't like each other as Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
And then they didn't like each other as Batman and Superman, but they was forced to work together. And then
he's like, I won't have vigilantism in my town.
Yeah. But it was dope because it's interesting because not as developed, I won't say it's corny, but not as developed as Justice League and Justice League Unlimited was, but they develop Static Shock, they developed Flash, Green Lantern, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that was all the same world.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, look how developed it was for Justice League, you know? And it's just like, Batman Beyond. You remember
Oh,
that?
Batman
And they
Beyond.
even explained how Terry McGinnis came about. Yeah.
That's what I actually loved about Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. They put together all those worlds. Like if you go back to Justice League, I think it was season 2, season 1 or 2, where they do that fusion with Lex Luthor and Brainiac. Like there's that dialogue where Brainiac is talking when he first exposes himself. And him and Luthor are like talking about it, and he's like, "Do you not remember when I blasted you in the same building?" He's like, "Yes." And they go back to a scene where he's building Brainiac a new body, and I'm thinking, where's that from? Superman, the animated series. I was like, "Fuck!" They connected every single little thing. Perfect, absolutely perfect.
We need
Same
those
world.
guys.
Yeah,
We need. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, Mazo. Oh, my goodness. It's so interesting. We live for these moments because, especially if you have a great story to tell, we love it. But when you connect it to another great story years later, we lose our mind. Like to take Heath Ledger's Joker, like you lose your freaking mind. You know, like you do because it's just like I remember that. I remember when they did this. You know, and then it's just like boom. Like I can't even front. Batman Beyond's movie where
Return of the Joker.
Return of the Joker. Yes. See, exactly. He's having a moment.
Am I not crazy? Because I just saw Return of the Joker, I think it was on Amazon, and it was a completely different movie from what I saw when I initially saw it.
When did you see it?
Well, when I first saw it, Tim Drake was still like Joker-esque, right?
Yes.
And he pushed Joker against like these, I guess, water, these vials of water, and he's soaked. And then the Joker slips, and there was like exposed. There was an exposed electric cable. You don't see it, but you hear the Joker like give this huge scream, and from there we got that Tim Drake
Killed and became
Killed,
the Joker.
yeah.
killed the Joker, and Joker died as a result of being exposed with the water and electricity.
Right.
But in the Amazon version, you don't see that, but you see something else.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So-
hey, this is not what I saw.
So when you first saw it, you probably saw it on TV. You probably saw it on WB. That's the first place I saw it was on WB, and they cut a lot. They cut out a lot of the stuff
They were censored. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
So now when we're watching it now, like remember like the beating
Because even on the DVD, I don't know if I have it or had it, but even on the DVD, they only showed that version of Joker dying through like electricity.
Yeah.
But then looking at the Amazon version, it was so like I was so out of it because like now I can't even remember how that scene went down because I'm not familiar with that.
So like Harley Quinn who survived, but remember she was pushed off a ledge.
Yeah.
By I think Batgirl.
Yeah.
Batgirl, if I'm not mistaken. Batgirl fought.
I don't think was it.
Yeah, it was her and Batgirl. It was Batgirl, Batman, and Tim Drake. Because remember they captured Tim Drake. It was Batman and Batgirl that went in. But anyway, she fell down, and you realize years later she's still alive. She didn't actually die. You got to understand, around that time, censorship was big in America. So a lot of things weren't necessarily getting through unless it's with like the collector's edition, whatever, with the DVD or VHS. And even then, depending on how it was rated, you know? So I'm not doubting that Hulu has like, you know what, let's not show this version or show this version because it's an older movie. And for us, it's like, this is classic though. Show the whole thing. For them, it's like, it's not that important, you know? Maybe they messed up. Maybe they uploaded the wrong file.
Regardless of whether it was edited or unedited, it was still an amazing movie.
Oh, the part where Terry McGinnis goes to like interview Tim Drake and he goes, "You could be retired, but some things never leave you." And he's camouflaged, like bruh. Oh my god, that was just like, and then he ended up turning to be the Joker, and it's just like, whoa,
amazing.
And I love that because in a lot of iterations of where like kind of like the Joker comes back before they really explored the Lazarus Pit, and I believe it's Dionysium. He always leaves a mark. The latest mark was Dark Knight Metal, where he didn't die. The Bat Who Laughs, where he managed to poison Bruce with the Joker toxin. And Bruce became... Oh, that's a spoiler if you didn't do it. Bruce became a Batman Joker.
Yeah,
Joker.
he kills Joker.
Yeah.
And then Joker, upon dying, his body releases a chemical.
Right. And it's crazy. And it's crazy because, like, I've seen the Joker. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but he's like, I've seen the Joker, like, kill people with the Joker venom in the face. And he's like, after a while, you just develop an immunity. He said that, like, yeah, I just hold my breath, but I guess I developed an immunity to it. And it's like, that explains so much. That explains, because you think something like that, if it wasn't coming from his body, how did he get an immunity to it? Mm-hmm. But then he'd be laughing, too.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's just a scary, like reading that. It was like a scary, I guess, transition. Watching, like reading Bruce slowly turn into Joker.
And he has all of Bruce's prowess and like abilities. So it's just like, whoa. I mean, you already beaten Bruce as the Joker. So now it's like you're combined. Like the way I think about it is like fusion. Dragon Ball Z, or like if anybody who watches Naruto listens to it, it's like when Madara took the first cells of the Hashirama, who's like the first Hokage. It was like badass, and he puts it inside himself, and now he's like augmented powers. You know what I'm saying? That's wow.
That was the one thing at Comic-Con. I was hoping to at least come across a Batman Who Laughs cosplayer, because I've seen a lot of the cosplays on Instagram, online, and they look hella awesome. But I'm pretty sure there were. I just didn't come across.
I think at the previous
myself, see them. But I did see.
Cali, I think there was a lot. Yeah.
I did see someone dressed up as a Batman, a vampire Batman.
Really?
He had like the long like spikes and like the bat wings on behind him and stuff.
From the original when he went against Dracula.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool.
Well,
yeah.
No, I was saying that with Joker Batman slowly turning into Joker, that was kind of one of the themes that was inside Arkham Knight, the third fourth Batman game.
Okay.
And it was pretty cool because you're playing as Batman, and you hear him kind of talking to himself.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
First of all, the first two games are such a classic. I don't know if that's an actual story, like before it hit the game. Have you played the game by any chance?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just in case,
like any of the Arkham games.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So like here it is. All right, the first game was dope. It was a breakthrough. Everything changed. It was the Joker that did it. The second one, the Joker's dying, and all this time you thought you're going against Joker, and it's Clayface. And you got to fight him at the end, and he dies. But then because you inhaled the toxin, you're slowly going mad, and you're dealing with it. And it's like, although I didn't like Arkham Knight, really I didn't like the Batmobile missions or whatever.
It was too much. It was too much.
And I feel like they could have drawn, I don't know. Why did they go with such a tanky whatever. Anyway, it was still a good story. It was still a great story. Sorry.
Probably one of the greatest stories. With
Batman, do you ever really get a lackluster story when it comes to animated? No. I mean, movies aside, animation-wise, like, they're on point. Batman's company, DC is like, no, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Superman too, but Superman kind of go, oh my God, I still got to say this again. If they go against Apocalypse, I need Superman to say that line where he feels like the world is cardboard. And then he wails on Dark Side. Sorry, not Apocalypse. Oh my God. Whew. All right. I just really quickly, I guess we can kind of go into this one. Are superheroes just as bad as their counterparts? Like, I ran into somebody, who was like, you love Batman so much, but yet he doesn't take care of the villains. Like, they keep getting out and they keep killing people, and he's just as bad as them for letting it happen. I'm like, he doesn't let it happen. He goes after them. He's like, really? How do they keep managing to get out? And it's funny, too, because we went into a really long discussion. He's like, if the villains, obviously, if the comics, the series wanted to get rid of all the villains, let's just say, they would do something like they did in No Man Logan, where all the villains come together and be like, you know what? Let me take your superhero and you take mine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Granted, certain villains like Parasite has been fought by both Batman and Superman, but going against Wonder Woman and the gods might be something different. I think Amazo, is it Amazo? Am I right? Would kill everybody. It's Amazo, the super robot.
Yeah, Amazo.
Amazo, okay. Would kill everybody, but he's not interested in that. So it's just like, are superheroes just as bad, if not worse, than their counterparts? I personally don't think they are.
I mean, you can argue either side to that.
Yeah.
And for devil advocate, I argue the other side and say yes. And I would say because it's how much times you can do the same thing
Get
before
out.
you or yourself gonna
Get out.
Hey, how much times you can do the same thing before you're considered crazy? That's the definition of crazy:
Yeah,
doing the same thing over and over and getting the same
Right.
results. So Batman or any of these superheroes keep putting the same their criminals in jail, knowing that they're gonna break out. You did it once, you did it twice, you did it three. At some point, the deaths of the citizens are gonna be on your back.
Okay, I got something to say, but go ahead, Dorko.
Oh well, I was gonna say Batman doesn't really let anyone out. It's Arkham. I blame the staff at Arkham. You know,
He's a billionaire. He can donate and fix the asylum.
It's not. Well, I mean, maybe as Bruce Wayne, he can donate X amount of money to fortify, I guess, Arkham.
I think Arkham also gets like a stipend every time
You know,
it happens. Like,
but-
they get, like, some money.
But when does a villain doesn't plan to escape at one point or another? You know, whether there's successful or unsuccessful attempts. I mean, regardless, at one point or another, they're gonna get out.
Agreed.
So but in this particular case, Batman doesn't, or any other hero, they don't let the villains out. I mean, they're just doing what they're just putting the bad guys away. That's it. They are in no way judge, jury, or executioner.
Okay. So, are we all familiar with Injustice?
Yes.
Okay. Was Superman wrong?
That's where I was going with this. That's where I was going with this. Or better yet, if it's just a case for anybody who's not familiar, for the Justice Lord.
Well,
I'll say the animated version, not the comic version, because the comic version was a little bit more gritty, where Superman was sniffing kryptonite, literally, But here it is. They were lobotomizing certain villains.
Yeah.
The Joker, I believe, got lobotomized. Right. Doomsday got lobotomized.
Well, let's just go with the initial action.
Okay.
The initial action was Joker, Batman, and Superman were going against Joker, right? Mm-hmm. And Lois Lane was pregnant. Joker tricked Superman into
thinking.
I can't remember, with a bomb.
No, I got you right now.
Not a bomb. Go ahead. No problem.
What Joker did was he killed Jimmy Olsen.
He killed Jimmy.
He captured Lois, and he put a toxin in her, which was set like on a.
That's right.
That was set on a bomb, right? So what happened was when Superman went to go find her on the ship that he just like made sure it was in Metropolis. Yes, it was in Metropolis. Right before they got caught. What happened was Superman got exposed to the toxin and thought Lois Lane was Doomsday. And he said, get everybody out, brought Lois Lane straight up into the atmosphere and into space. Because unfortunately, it depends on the writing. But Superman does need to breathe and then he doesn't, whatever. And then he realized that he killed his wife and his unborn son at the same time. And there was a trigger in Lois Lane that set off a nuclear bomb in the ship in Metropolis. Yeah. This is probably this is that moment where we talked about it in the previous episode where Superman it was in the Supreme Court and the bomb went off and he didn't catch it. Yeah. Defeated he was, because he was still I think a couple of days or hours passed. They came in, they're like, you got to come out, and he was just like, I can't believe it. And then he went after the Joker.
And then Batman. So at this point in time, Batman caught Joker. And Joker was in jail. So Batman was, I think, interrogating him.
Yeah. And he was like, he wanted to have fun with someone else for a change.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's when Superman came. I guess Superman heard. Superman came right in. I think he broke the wall. He came in and did he kill Joker right there? Or
yes, he did.
Right through the chest,
right there.
Yep. Right through the chest.
He just killed my job.
So was Superman at that point, even though he was on all emotion, it was all emotion, but does that make him wrong because he was on all emotion? And I would say that, I will go back to you, Mike. And I would say that the conversation we had yesterday, last time about Bucky.
I'd see what I tell you.
When we was like, you said it was his emotion that drove him to save Bucky, to go against the norm, to go against the grain. Was Superman wrong for killing Joker?
First of all, you leave my boy Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, aka Cap's best friend, the best captain I recognize, out of this. Okay, all right. I don't think Superman was wrong. And I'm sorry to say that because there's always this line that we forget. What's one life versus the many? You understand? Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League in total, and even Marvel, the Avengers, hold each other to a status, a quote, a line, a bar that says, we'll do everything to stop you, but we won't kill you. As hard as it may be, no matter what you've done, we are not judge, jury, and executioner. We will capture you, make sure you get captured to our best abilities. So when someone else's villain comes to your town, nukes your city, and that's just the cherry on the top. Nukes your whole city and kills everybody, kills your best friend, Jimmy Olsen, right? Takes your wife, and makes you kill your wife and your unborn son. It can be argued that Superman was driven into madness.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened. I think he was... Well, I mean...
Mad with powers later.
Yeah.
I want to bring up the fact that there is a time where... Is it Superman or Batman? Somebody's sleeping and they have a dream where they reenact that whole thing at the beginning again, but Batman kills the Joker for Superman, and he does the time.
Right,
and he does.
Yeah. He does,
and he's like, and then Superman like breaks in, and he's like, "Yo,"
and he hugs him,
and he's like, "Thank you for everything," you know, boom, boom, boom. He's like, "I can break you anytime." He's like, "No, I'm gonna do my time."
I'm gonna do my time,
and they're more afraid of me in here than I am them.
Right.
And you know, that's a pivotal point because here it is. Superman is like, enough is enough, which is fair because Superman is the Boy Scout. So it's like it's either black or white. Even though he knows there's gray, he's like black or white. Yeah. Batman's all about the gray. Yeah. Batman's still black and white, but he's all about the gray. And he was willing to do the time where Superman was not. Mm-hmm. He was like, I'm not doing the time. We're changing everything so this doesn't happen. Preventative and a reactive motion versus like, I did it, I just do the time. Yeah. I don't think he's wrong once again. I think he's wrong for what he did afterward.
Oh, no. Yeah, afterwards it's crazy.
Definitely watch that series, folks. It's worth your time. Or not watch it, read it. As far as what Bucky goes, once again, I think he was right too.
Oh, he was not right.
Listen, here it is. You have Boy Scout Captain America, right? Yeah. Who's slowly not turning... Well, now at this point, he's not a Boy Scout. Let's be real. He's a grown man. And Bucky, his best friend, went missing. He thought he died on a mission. 40 years later, he finds out he's alive, and he's
trying to kill him.
Trying to kill him because he's a sleeper agent. You know, he's had his memory lost. And you got to understand, to who everything Steve is, Bucky, and I forgot the girl that he was interested in that died, that was old, that had Alzheimer's.
Agent Carter?
Agent Carter, yes. That was it. That was his life. And Bucky's been there from the jump. Mm-hmm. Bucky's been there from before he enlisted, when he was trying to enlist.
When he was little Steve.
Yes, when he was sickly Steve. So it's like, I can't fault that man for being emotional over an attachment. And I'll dare say, like Batman, like any other Justice League, they don't want to retire because this is what drives them. Like Captain America. You know, Captain America wants to keep fighting a war. He needs a war. That's just what his drive is. You understand?
It's his purpose.
It's his purpose, for sure. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lose himself. Bucky is himself in a sense where it's like his past. You know, Carter, his past. Everybody else is dead.
I won't disagree with that. What I will say, though, is that... I mean, it's a hard choice. It's
Stop coming after him.
I'm not coming after him. I'm just saying, you know.
No,
I'm just making a...
No, that's cool.
Making a observation.
But see, and I love things like this because even Superman, who is technically an alien from a different planet, this makes him seem so much more human and so much more relatable. Imagine you had powers like Superman. Or even if you had invulnerability, right? And you were able to find the Joker after he did what he did to Superman to you. You know, like I couldn't imagine. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. Would I do the time? Possibly.
Temptation's a hell of a drive.
You know, and I don't get me wrong, it's hard not to. Like something totally different. We talked about this like 2 episodes ago. You know, there's models out there, like body fitness models that get shamed. You know, and I hate saying shame because everybody has shame, but like they get ragged on and all this other stuff. And you know what? You know how hard it is to keep that body like that? How hard it is to go to the regimen and keep it like that? You're one burger away from going back to that 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Listen, every now and again, you know, me too. So it's just like, how hard is it not to kill the Joker? Since we're talking about Batman. Yeah. How hard is it not to kill Lex Luthor? Oh my God! Remember when Lex became president? I hated him. Yeah. I hated him. Man. But it's just like
I think it's easier to not do it unless something personally happens to you. Right. And I think that was the line that was crossed for Superman. His wife and his unborn child was killed.
Can I just say
that's it? Man, anybody was. I think
Lex
anybody was.
Luthor personally crosses the line all the time with Superman. Does Lex Luthor actually know his alias?
It depends on the story.
It depends on the story? Okay, because it wasn't clear. But he doesn't care to humiliate Clark Kent. He wants to humiliate Superman. Yeah. And he goes after everything Superman stands for. And puts him in various positions to make him compromise who he is. Yeah. That's personal. So that alone could drive you mad.
Yeah, but still at the same time.
And Joker obviously knows Joker identity.
But it still depends on...
Villains don't care after a while. They want to kill the
It depends on who... Not on who, but it depends on what you come after. Because I think we're all in the same boat when you can say whatever you want to say to me, but don't bring
my family.
That's the line.
Yeah,
that's the line. But
that's how you break a hero.
That's how you break. Yeah. I agree. Which we saw happens all the time, and that's how Superman fell. That's how
even
Cap
fell.
fell.
In Injustice 2, in the cutscene, like even Damian asked him, like, would you have killed the Joker if he had killed me? And Batman stood silent because Batman knows that killing, once you cross that line, there's no going back.
Yeah. It's hard to justify. And to be real with you, they do have the Red Hood in this one. It's hard. I can imagine for Batman not to kill some of his guys because look what he did to Jason Todd, the Joker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He killed Jason Todd. Yeah. Jason Todd was dead. DED dead.
That would have been the line. If there was ever a line for Batman to cross, that would have been the line.
Was it? I don't think it was Kevin Conroy, but Enter the Red Hood, who it's a famous guy, Joe. It's a famous guy who did the Joker.
Who played the Joker?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He talks about, you're going to do it again? You're going to put me in a body cast for another couple of months? And I was like, oh, that's how close he came without killing him? Yep. Like months in a body cast. I got to look up that guy's name because he did a great Joker. Go ahead.
I remember the same Injustice where Damian accidentally kills Nightwing. He accidentally kills Nightwing, and then the rage
my son is dead
in Batman at that point because he was going after his son, who killed his, I guess, eldest son. I don't know how you want to eat best friend, little brother. Well, I don't know how each story have different relationships between them. But
John DiMaggio,
if Superman wasn't there and took Damian at that point, would Batman have killed Damian? Or would he maybe not kill? But I'm pretty sure for the first time it would have been a fight where I'm not training you. This is a fight. Right. He would have fought Damian.
This is the Batman who sticks to his no guns, no killing rule. Yeah. Like regardless of who he's fighting, his opponent will still lay down breathing. So because he knows. He knows firsthand. He experienced it. He saw it. Yeah. He knows that once you, but he also understands. You guys ever seen the about the Gotham the animated? This came out like right after Dark Knight.
Which one? The new Batman?
No. Like it was like a series of stories. Okay. And they were like different. They were done like directed by
different angles.
Well, not different angles, but like different stories and different animations. Yeah. And there was one where he's it's a DVD. It's a DVD.
Okay. I think I missed this one.
There was one scene where he's talking to Alfred where he holds the gun himself. He's like, I can understand why people use guns. There's lots, you can there's lots of power in this in a gun.
They brought that into a
You can change history with a gun, but I think he specifically says that it's not him. Right. That's not who he is. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's all about choice. The choices that we make define who we are. It's not who I am underneath. It's what I do that defines me.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I think they brought that into comics, so that's why I'm familiar with that. Yeah, man. No, you said it all. I really can't add on to that. I don't think he would have necessarily killed Damien, but he body cast him.
Mm-hmm.
This was also, I just want
He'll hurt him.
Yeah.
Badly.
But from Damien's perspective, that's probably even, how hurt would he have been?
Yeah,
pride. He saw Batman. If Superman wasn't there, I think that's all he needed to see was Bruce's anger towards him, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was just more so because it was an accident,
right?
And he felt disappointed, and then Superman was just that comfort.
Yeah,
Damien's hurting too. I don't want to go into too much into it because it'll be a long
thing.
Yeah, but I just want to point out that this was the time that Damien had just been released to the public. They answered one of the questions on who was the better Robin. They had Nightwing fight Damien. Nightwing won. But he took some licks with it in the animation as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, Bruce was still getting to know his son. Bruce, although Jason Todd was out doing his own thing, Bruce still trusted Jason to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Bruce trusted Barbara. Bruce trusted Tim. Tim was in and out. I don't think they in animation, but in the comics, he trusted Tim. He trusts, Dick. Their family.
Yeah, the Bat family.
Yes. Well, they're not complete because there's two other Batwoman and Batgirl, if I'm not mistaken. Another Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl wasn't there.
But I'm just saying in the animation wise, Damien hadn't been comic wise, he hasn't been fully part of the family. You understand? He hasn't been fully welcome because they go through the whole owl thing and everything else, and it's just like then he becomes like a son, and it's just like you little mother,
yeah.
They were all standoff against him. I remember Tim Drake and Damien being standoff. I remember that fight in the comics. Yeah. It was just an intense fight in which Damien won. And it's not.
I think Tim let him have that fight. To be real, I think Tim thought it out and was like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Well,
but Dick was like, nah. Dick was like, nah, and then he wrapped him up and brought him back. Yeah. But Damien got under his skin too. Yeah. So, man, I want to wrap this up because I felt like we had a really great episode. That was good. It's the second episode we didn't talk about a Marvel character.
We might have to talk about the rest of everything else in the next episode.
I will definitely do it. Thank you once again, Brooklyn Boy T, for hosting. Take us out, if you will, sir.
All right, guys. Yeah, this was a good episode. So, where can we see you guys?
Next month?
Next month? I guess we could do that next month.
Cool.
Month. I feel like we're starting to do this a little more. It was your boy Mayhem Mike. You can find me. Definitely see me on the Last Stop on the L, the other podcast. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Nerds of the Round. Shout out to Geeks Unlimited, all on YouTube as well. The Nerds of the Round. You can. Do I want to get my Instagram? You can find me at Geeks Unlimited. How about that on Instagram? Good.
Well, you can find me also on Instagram, but you ain't gonna see nothing.
All right, guys, and I'm Brooklyn Boy T. Thanks for listening to our show. See you next time.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening to this episode of Hyro Geekix, the show for all things geek. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below so we can have more discussions for you. Don't forget to visit our channel, Geeks Unlimited, and even our sibling channel, The Nerds of the Round, on YouTube. Links are in the description below, and until next time, guys, stay geeky.